everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Fangirlz Assemble. Dark Wave Fairy, you're on the right question. Is Fangirlz on Wednesdays or Sundays? Technically, most of the time Sundays. However, I will say this past month or so, my schedule has been bonkers. And I'm very overwhelmed. So sometimes it's moving. And also, just consider me dead on the internet for on and off for a little bit. I will show up.
Yeah, it's on Sunday unless life gets in the way, and then it's on Wednesday.
Yeah. So. It has been. I will apologize to everyone in the chat too. I am very overwhelmed. So I will just appear in pockets of happiness. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, everybody," and then I'll disappear. So any messages to you, I will respond, and give me like 4 days, and then I will respond to everything in one go. Mark knows. You know, Kristan. Anyways, enough about that. Hello, Visual Scott Stapp and Kenneth. Good morning.
Hey, Kenneth.
We got James with the correct emojis. Happy Sunday, Mary.
Mary.
Hope everyone's doing well. Hi, kids.
And Mark.
I know. Mark understands. It's the time. And I will be busy for hours back to back to back immediately when the show ends. So I will be eating a little bit during the show. So I'll mute
understandable.
This. You know.
Understandable.
I do like Sunday mornings the most, personally. I agree with you. Because I think you can tell we're so tired on Wednesdays. We're just like, hello.
Yeah. When it's like right after work for both of us. And we're just
like right now,
okay.
I've got energy. I feel good. This sets the tone for the rest of my day.
Right.
Because I was feeling a little anxious. And I was like, well, talking to you guys, talking to Kristan, will make me feel a lot better. So seeing all you lovely faces, your little icon faces.
Yeah, it's understandable. And Hayden. Hayden's here.
Hayden.
Hi, Hayden.
Well, before we get to our book, let's talk about our lovely sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get your books up to 50% off. A lot of times more. There's some manga sale. I'm looking at Sweat and Soap Volume 4 because your girl's been through it, and I think I deserve a book.
I think you do. I think you should order yourself a book in honor of my birthday coming up.
That's right.
That's what
I have present. I'm trying to figure out your present will either be delivered to you or I'll just wait till you come visit. But
okay.
I've spent a lot of time this week when I take myself feel better to window shop for your birthday.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
And you can get free shipping if you spend more than $50 if you live in the United States. We have our book of the month coming up, our pick of the month next Tuesday.
I believe.
And that is The Girl from the Other Side. That's the deluxe.
Yeah, the deluxe volume 3 is coming out.
3.
And that will be extra discounted, which is extra great because they're already discounting it well because it's IST, plus our extra discount for a week. And you know those little hardcovers, though they're really beautiful, they're quite pricey.
That's why I haven't bought them yet.
They're quite pricey, but like with the extra discount, it's going to be an extra special treat for everybody. So
yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Also, again, the red tag sale. Check it out. Under sales, the red tag sale. There's tons of Omnis that are over 60% off right now, which is wild.
Yeah.
So check those out. I'll probably be looking at it again for my own birthday. Like maybe I should treat myself. So
you should. Everyone should treat yourselves in honor of Kristan's birthday.
Yes, please.
Kristan a little present. You need a P.O. box or something.
Too bad they're expensive.
Oh, just do a little wish list thing.
Yeah, okay, I could do that.
I love every once in a while just pick somebody's wish list and I'll buy stuff off of it because it makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Makes me a little happy.
Love that.
But I've heard really good things about The Girl from the Other Side. The collection looks really beautiful. And if you follow me on Goodreads, I may write scathing reviews about any of his other works. But from what I can tell, that book is still good.
Crossing our fingers, aren't we? Yeah.
Just don't ever read this one. And don't ever read Love on the Other Side because it made me want to vomit in my mouth.
Big yikes.
But you can read I'll talk about it later. I'll save it. I should save it for Halls and Reads.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah.
Just remember that I've said this, everybody in the chat, and be like, what do you really think about that book? And I will tell you.
Yeah. You will go off.
Because you know me, I'm a 4 or 5 star girly, right? I put a 1 and I wrote a review.
And you only probably put a 1 because you had to pick a star, right?
I had to.
Yeah.
Mary just got the Thing Omni.
Love that.
Red tag sale, 60% off. That's awesome. I've been really enjoying Superman Lois season 3. Oh man, I forgot that's happening. It's really good. Hope there'll be a season 4. It's amazing TV and animation gets Superman so right, but recent films have not. Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
TV animation's where Superman is at for me. I need to catch up on all those TV shows. I plan on getting the Flash by Mark Waid omnibus and also Batman Superman World's Finest Volume 1 hardcover. Oh, I've got that one. That's
nice.
Tuesday after next. Old reader, new reader. Me and Joe Guzman.
Oh, cool. Mary just read that. Dan Mora art, yeah?
Yeah. Mary did.
All love.
I think Mary only gave like a 3. All right, Mary?
Yeah, well.
That's fine.
Mary, give us your thoughts.
Listen, a 3 is still good. A 3 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about most DC books. I'm like, this is fine. I like it.
Yeah.
I can now justify my massive Star Wars book splurge. Exactly.
Hayden, thank you for honoring me.
That's how we want you to honor our birthdays and any milestones, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for Kristan's birthday because she deserves everything. I hope you have a lovely birthday with lots of presents and books.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sorry that you share it with like unfortunate other days.
Yeah. It's okay though.
But I'll always remember it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the positive. No one's going to forget 420.
No, never. I hope you blaze that bank account with books. I don't do
drugs. Same. Yeah, people were asking me on the last show I did with Jess yesterday. They were like, what are you going to do for your And I'm like, listen, since I was a kid, I've gotten this question. I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do.
Yeah. Not going to do what you
think
I'm going to do. All right, let's talk about... So we read Nimona by J.D. Stevenson.
It's actually ND.
Oh, sorry, ND, sorry.
Yeah.
ND Stevenson.
Nate, yes.
Oh, so he goes by Nate, okay. Because on my digital copy it said ND, and I was like, okay. But it doesn't flow in my mouth well, ND.
Yeah, it stands for Nate, and I believe their, I'm checking now. I believe their Instagram says Nate.
Yeah. So for those
of
you...
it says ND on the Instagram, but they've mentioned Nate, so I feel like Nate's okay.
So you may have known him by a different name before, but just so you know, we will be using his current pronouns. It's been great to watch that transition for him too on Twitter. Very happy for him and his partner. They're very cute people.
Yeah, Molly's awesome too.
Right? Like, what a perfect pairing.
Yeah.
I love people.
So creative and great. Yeah, they're both wonderful.
So let's get into... I loved this. I needed this today. I needed this morning. Again, mental health is doing what it's doing. This exactly what I want. I read it digitally. It's free if you have Kindle Unlimited or Comixology Unlimited. I will be needing that that physical copy. Is that like glossed with a character?
Yeah, it's a bit can you tell?
Yeah,
it's pretty.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
This is my first time reading it. I'm assuming you've read it before.
I read it back in 2015.
Yeah.
From my library. I remember picking it up, and I think I'd heard, like, I don't know, I was exploring a lot of books that I hadn't, picked up before, and this was kind of the first of its kind, one of the first, like, probably one of the very first indie titles, or what actually it's probably not even, no, it's not. It's not really. It's from Harper Teen.
Well, I mean, but didn't he do it as like a webcomic or something at first? Because I mean, they're shorter comics. So
yeah. It started as a webcomic. Yeah. So I guess, from that perspective, probably the first webcomic in physical form I'd ever read for sure. And I got it from my library, and it was one of those things that I was looking out for. I think I got this copy at a half price or something.
Sorry.
we got to take a moment for unity.
She was just like, let's go.
Love that. But yeah, and of course I was, I don't know, before or after Lumberjanes probably came out after this, which Nate did some work on, which I loved, of course. But yeah, this was kind of the first of its kind where the whole time I was like, hold on, this villain and this hero, they're in love, right? And also this character of Nimona, who just, I don't know, just the best dialogue throughout this whole thing, right? Yeah. I really, really loved the dialogue. And revisiting it this many years later, I hadn't read it for a second time. I loved it the first time around, loved it still. I think it totally holds up. And it's one of those staples, I feel like, and I'm glad that you finally got to, because I think this is so like your kind of book too. And it was just great. It was just great again.
Yeah, so people who haven't read, which, I mean, I'm sure most people have, because, I mean, this was always one that I always heard about. Like, when you look up graphic novels, and like Nimona always comes up, and for some reason, I just never read it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fun for me, because I knew nothing.
Yeah.
People just like read it. I knew nothing about it. I was like, okay, it looks fantasy-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so much fun. I mean, it's so Nate Stevenson. It's so that kind of humor and art, and it's a really good time. It definitely feels like a webcomic turned, graphic novel. It's because I love the fantasy aspect, and I love that there's some seriousness in there. There's some like talk of trauma in there. There was like it almost was like a larger like commentary of how good organizations do things. But it's still so funny throughout. Like,
yeah.
And Nimona's just such a fun, like, just monster character. Just like, I mean, one of the best play on words, but like,
yeah. And ultimately, Nimona, of course, is the main character right here, and she is the sidekick to the villain here, Ballister, and this is the hero, Golden Loin, of the story. Mm-hmm. And the villain, Ballister, I love that he is even a villain because he's so careful in what he does.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to hurt the hero because they have a history. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He's a really kind of sweet villain ultimately, right?
Yeah.
You feel for him and what's going on in his life. And then you get more of their backstory, their history with the hero. And that is great too. But yeah, then Nimona appears and she becomes a sidekick. And she's just like this snippy, like, I want to be a villain. And she's always got quips and she's always funny and very entertaining and very different from Ballister. So seeing him like bring her on as a sidekick, she's a shapeshifter. And you realize there's even more than that to her throughout the story than you think. She's got power. She's got stuff going on. And she tries to make him be more of a villain, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't care to like, she'll kill people. Like, she doesn't care. Like, she wants to be a villain. She's like, we got to make these people panic. We got to like do these bad things. And he's just like, I don't know about that.
Like, yeah, because like she's like, we should kill people, and she does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, but the guard didn't ask for this. She's like, don't you want revenge for what happened to you? Because he lost his arm from the knight, and when he lost his arm, the knighthood was like, we're not going to use you. And so he had no real for him, he had no other option, really. But he's chosen to be a villain, but not in a way that he's actually hurting people, more of a just almost like a cartoony way of like, you have a villain and a superhero that are going against each other. Kind of like, I keep thinking of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like this understanding.
Yeah.
A little bit. But it's almost like it's like a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Where they just like, they're just continually doing this till the end of time. Very like early Batman Joker before everything got crazy. But yeah, like she's like, I want to kill people. And he's like, no, these other people didn't ask for that. It's the head that we want. These regular people didn't ask for this. This guard wasn't there when this happened. Their circumstances are different, but she's got so much anger and trauma and everything in her, in a very like comical, like using humor as a defense, like coping mechanism constantly. And I think they recognize the woundedness in each other. Where I'm really glad that she sought him out, because he's probably the only person that could really work through that with her and for her. And just
yeah, and there are these really sweet, intense moments, especially toward the end, where there's a lot of stuff happening and a lot of big things and moments and destruction. And he's the only one who can ultimately help her. And, the power of like their friendship that they formed really, it's just so lovely at the end.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I really love the setting a lot, because this is fantasy and they do lean on that. I mean, she transforms into dragons. There's knights. They all dress more fantasy-like. A lot of the places they go more fantasy-like. However, there is advanced technology, and it's just like this mix that is unexplained. And I think that's fun. I think that's really silly.
Yeah.
I love that you can call people. I love there's different like, there's like broadcasting systems. There's a news lady with like a blazer. And yet there are still people fighting with like knives and doing these other things, but there's also like secret testing facilities. It's really so goofy.
Yeah,
and yet it's just perfect.
The universe, I feel like, for when you start it, especially at the beginning, you know, the chapters are shorter, and he really like expands on that universe more than perhaps originally intended, or maybe it was all originally intended for that because, you know, it was a webcomic. So, but it grows and grows and grows and grows and becomes deeper than you think it's going to be, as well as, again, you get the character development throughout this. Because, you know, I think you and I both, we're big on characters, we're big on character development and growth, and you get so much of that, as well as just like the dialogue is consistently funny and entertaining, and there's so much of it. That is one thing I noticed rereading it, that there's a way more dialogue than I remembered. You know what I mean? In a good way, though. It was still like, you know, a fairly quick read, but there's just so much dialogue in a good way.
Yeah. Very funny. It flowed very well. I could see why they would have chosen this to become a Netflix movie, which didn't get dropped.
I feel like it's been like in and out of production forever.
Because if you look up Nimona on Amazon, it says Nimona dash the Netflix movie.
I think like it may actually be happening. The last I heard, unless it's now been dropped again, because I feel like
it says 2023 film. There's no way.
I mean,
are we for real?
It may happen. I feel like the last I heard it was actually going to happen, but we'll see.
Maybe it is. Chloe Grace Moretz supposed to be in it. That's fitting.
Yeah.
James will know. It's set to be released this summer.
Yeah, I feel like it's
from Annapurna. Okay. I like their video games a lot. I mean, it would be cool. It's got Eugene from Try Guys as Ambrosius Goldenloin.
Oh, interesting.
Honestly, I think that fits. And then who's being Riz Ahmed? Oh, Riz Ahmed will be what's his name?
According to James, it's still coming out.
Okay, well,
which that's the last I heard. It was they're gonna do it. Like it was it already happened.
I feel like at one point it was canceled, maybe came back. There's a lot of these comic books I get confused because a lot of them were going to be picked up, right? And then were canceled and like live in a weird space. And it's hard to know ever now, even if something's made, if it will ever be released. So.
Well, and they're optioned all the time, and sometimes stuff never happens. Yeah. Sometimes it's greenlit, they go into production, and then they're like, just kidding. Like it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, like the same thing happened to Monster, I think, because they, I don't know if it was Del Toro or it was some big name wanted to bring Monster to like HBO as a series, which would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. Cowboy Bebop was on the stands to happen for like decades. It happened and canceled immediately. Oh, okay. It was canceled when Disney shut down Blue Sky, and then Netflix picked it up. Good job, Netflix.
Makes sense.
Sometimes you're doing it.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't want to get into spoilers of this, which is a difficult part because then we would just dive into the specifics. But I really enjoyed. I enjoy like funny fantasy books a lot, and funny books and graphic novels a lot. Especially because I think they dealt with some really difficult things in here without, like, in a way that's accessible. We talk about that a lot, but you know, we deal with the thing of disability and what options does that leave a person? Because really, he was just fine. He built another arm for himself. He's still successful. He's still capable. And he's almost doing this in spite to prove that I am still a capable person. Nothing changed. You just want it to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And to deal with issues of like the good people aren't always good, and it is multifaceted, and it's not that simple.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, that was a really interesting point that I feel like we don't get a lot throughout stories, especially, you know, when I think of like maybe the typical big two stories, right? There kind of is a very much like, here's the hero, the end, here's the villain, the end. But it gets deeper than that, especially with Ballister being a sweet villain as well as the whole hero organization throughout this. You're just kind of like, oh, they're kind of the bad guys. Like, it's not great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and for Golden Lion, or Golden Loin, that's the name.
Almost.
That as well. And, you know, all of Nimona is like, she seems like this really capable, like constantly just fearless, jumping into stuff, goofy, you know, just even when she gets hurt and he's so terrified for her, she's like, oh, whatever, it's fine. But then you realize she's carrying so much, she's not indestructible. And at the heart of it, she really is just this like little girl that didn't get to grow up and experience so many awful things. And it's so rough. Like, it's so rough to see this little gremlin that we fell in love with have this like tough backstory. And if that isn't the most D&D thing, I don't know what is. Personally. But yeah, it was a great time. I also loved that Nate took the time during this to also give us little time and little stories in between things. We had the bigger picture, obviously. We had the bigger heist and like everything and the little like just shenanigans they get into. But we also had just like, hey, we're going to hang out and play board games. Mm-hmm. Or we're going to watch this movie. Or we're going to do this like little just chill downtime of us spending time together. Oh, we can't order pizza because we're so far out that it's so expensive. It's too difficult to do. Like this really like these silly things that happen.
Those great moments that like we wish were in more stories in general, especially more like, you know, stories like this, that there's a lot of action, but at the same time, there's a lot of downtime, and we need that mix to like it. I can't help but think of Hick Avengers, right? Where it's just like constant event, things are happening, blow up, here's what's happening. And I was like, wait, we need a moment to chill with these characters so I care about these big things that are happening. Yeah. And we get that here. And I love that in any story like that. You know, I need that mix or else I'm not going to care.
And it flowed well where it didn't feel like we were distracted from the main story at all or the main like plot. Mm-hmm. It still felt like it felt like it was flowing, like it was a natural pause in all of this.
Yep. And it certainly like helped us relate to these characters and like learn more about them and understand their motives for what they're doing. And I thought, how did you feel about the end? You know, we don't have to give it away, of course, but an end obviously can make or break something.
I liked it, but I was also really sad about it.
Yeah.
I wish it was different personally. I understand why it is the way that it is. I didn't feel very fulfilled by it, and it made me really sad.
Yeah. I do wonder if they're going to keep that ending or not. I still ultimately love this, and you know, I understand the ending, but I do wonder if on the adaptation if they're going to change that in any way, because you know we see that happen a lot where that's something that you know they may change, but
I think it's hard to see after everything that happens because you want it to be different, and at least I know everybody's okay.
Yeah, but I think that's the big thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm with you.
I just want found families to, you know, be how I want them to be.
Understandable.
Yeah. But all in all, I still gave it top rating.
Yeah, same.
That was very good, very well put together. And it's definitely one I'd like to have in my collection for sure, just because it's comfy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice hug.
Yeah, it's a nice hug.
Yeah.
Very glad.
Well, so we're saying everybody should read this if you haven't. Check it out.
Recommend it. Nice quick read if you have Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah. Check out the movie, I guess.
Yeah. Ensemble Bar gave it 6.5 out of 10, which makes sense, I think, for your taste. So your 6.5 out of 10 for that. It's like a 5 out of 5 for me. But I like this kind of stuff. Kind of wish the adaptation would have been 2D animation with the comic art. So I agree. I don't know if you saw pictures.
Yeah, I haven't even looked it up yet.
It looks very different. I mean, it looks good still, but it just doesn't. I'm not sure I'm gonna feel about it.
Can you show us?
Yeah, let me save some pictures. If I can find them in not that format. One moment, because I want to share you a picture. No. Come on, just give me. And some of this are test footage. So I don't know where we're at now. Oh my gosh, stop. Fine, I'll just show you Nimona. Because I wanted to show you both of them, but again, like I don't know when these were released either, so it could be that they've been more cleaned up, but I think it'll still give a view of the overall kind of what we're looking at for the movie.
Okay, interesting. I think it could be cool.
I think it's probably still going to be great.
Yeah.
As long as she still feels just as feral too, because I think part of the she's not like she's cute, sure, but like that kind of style though of character isn't what most, and I can see why they would change a little bit. Why what most audiences would think really cute and endearing. They want her to feel more like cutesy. Because if you look at Nimona, I mean, she just looks like a gremlin. In like a way that I love her, but
in a great way. Yeah,
I could see where like other audiences would be like not as into it. It looks like some people have compared her to like have like the Pixar, the Disney thing, where a lot of those characters look like the same. They have the same kind of like big eye, that kind of look, like Elsa from Frozen and all those kind of things.
Sure, that makes sense.
But I'm sure it'll still be fun. And they've got some good actors and working on it, so
yeah, for sure. Chloe's a good pick for her.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chloe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have since she was little. Well, that was that.
We did that.
Well, I guess we have time. I could talk about stuff I've read.
Yeah, you want to?
I always do this, and then we get to like calls and reads. I'm like, I don't know. I read. I did read the first 3 volumes of the manga Our Dreams at Dusk. Really, really like that. It is a slice of life, but it's about this this kid in high school who is gay, and he's getting bullied about it, but he's not open about it. So they've like. It starts out with them like looking, like some kids looking at his history on his phone to see what sort of like porn he's looking at. And he's dealing with that, and he ends up finding this sort of like found community that like builds houses and does these things in town that's full of different like queer people, and kind of like working through his acceptance of himself through that. And his crush, who I think is like a self-hating gay, but they deal with all types of people. So like those who transitioned, those who could potentially be non-binary. We have like this married female couple and what that or engaged female couple, what that means for them in their society, where one is fully out and the other one's not quite there yet. I really, really liked it, and I think it might be only 4 volumes.
Only 4, yeah.
So I'm going to have to buy them all because I borrowed it from a friend. I haven't read the 4th one yet, but I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I also only read the first 3, and I need to get that last one. And I should reread them. Yeah, because I really liked it too.
That was really good. And then I ruined my high of reading those books by reading the other book lent to me by my friend, Love on the Other Side, a Nagabe short collection. And I thought, maybe the wise beast of the Wizarding Wisdom just didn't work for me. Let's try a different anthology by him. Maybe it's fine. People love Girl on the Other Side. I've heard only wonderful things. I read the first volume. I liked it. Love on the Other Side might be fine. Now, let me tell you, this short story collection by Nagabe is disgusting. It is just grooming and pedophilia throughout, like, the majority of this book, except for 2 stories. The rest is that. And I was so grossed out.
So gross.
Oh my, I was so, like, I thought this was bad. And, like, yeah, it is. There's twincest and, like, some age gap stuff. But let me tell you, Love on the Other Side is so much worse.
So your friend, does your friend love these books? I'm just curious.
I don't think she saw it as being as serious as I did. Because she's like, oh, it's just like there's some really cutesy stuff in there, and I was like, No. No.
Yikes.
This is
Yikes.
so bad. Like, why are you reading this? No. Like, I can't even touch it. It's so gross.
How did you look through the Goodreads reviews? Like, are there other people like
the average is a 3.52?
That's too high. That's what that is.
Way too high. Only 5% of people gave it a 1 star.
That's unfortunate.
That's a big yikes. If you look at the 2s and 1 stars, they're like, like 2 of these stories are really good, but like, how is this allowed?
Don't like that. Don't like
people
that.
They really loved it, and I don't get it. And somebody commented, Nagabe is the king of monster fuckers. Let me tell you, that is incorrect. That is rude to people who read those books. Me. That's rude and not true. How dare you?
No, it's not okay.
Someone wrote, disturbing, but also lovely in its own strange way.
Is it?
I don't think it is. I just... These people are wrong. Oh. Gross.
I won't be reading that. Yeah, big yikes.
I would not recommend it unless you read it just so we can talk crap about it.
You know what? Maybe I should read it just so I can also give it 1 star and bring down that rating. Because yikes.
That's the reason, honestly, that I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think any of these it just feels like glorifying it. It just feels gross. Because if you do it all the time, if these are all your stories, that's on you, my guy. That's on you.
Talk to your friend about this?
I did. I was like,
yeah.
Because I warned those, like, because they liked Wise Wizarding, Beast of Wizarding Wisdom. So I was like, the twin cest scene? And we joked about it, right? He's like, and I'm like, and this one I was like, I gotta tell you, this is not it. This is not it. Ooh. Anyways.
Yikes.
Oh, Unstoppable Bar, let me tell you, it's bad. It's bad. It's so bad.
I feel like the words you use describe how bad it is.
A lot of grooming. So what? I'll give you one. I cannot talk about the whole thing. It's so gross. But the second story in there, the first story was cute. There were 2 stories in there that were cute. The second story, it's this like Wolfman guy, because it's all anthropomorphized. Like it's all humanoid, like animal humanoids, except for like the young children that they are with. The second story is like this monster guy is like raising this like little what looks to be a human, and like they can't take care of themselves. Like they're trying to eat and it's like coming out of their mouth. They don't know how to use the bathroom correctly. It's all this stuff. At the end, the kid's like, I want to marry you. Let's be together like this. I'm like, and in the lion story with this young boy is with a literal lion. And it's like, to talk about love with each other is like, I want to give you a kiss. That means we're going to have babies. And it's like really weird.
Yikes.
It's just really weird.
Big yikes.
It was big yikes. Anyways, I can't even talk about more. It's so gross. Don't read it. Don't, unless you want to read it so you can commiserate with me. But it's so gross. Anyways, you will not enjoy the Butterfly Garden. That book was dark, even dark for me. That probably won't. I can handle some dark stuff as long as it's not glorifying it. You know what I mean? If
and this is like
glorifying it, it feels
gross stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how, Lolita is meant to be a psychological horror, right? It's gross. It's meant to be that. This, gross. Exterminators, I have not. Is that like a teen book? Oh, it's like an actual novel. No, wait. Who's in the group? Oh, that looks good. We got Jubilee and Boom Boom and Dazzler. Is it like a X-Men girl group?
Sounds fun.
That sounds awesome. I don't think she's had time to watch School Spirits.
I haven't watched anything for the record, but I want to. I do want to.
Like it. Yeah. That and Grease.
Those are both Paramount Plus.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved Grease. That was great.
Okay.
That's been like between what's kept me just going this week because it's been busy and I'm just coming out of it after today. So next week I'll be better. It's basically been Grease because I love that show. And then that little song on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
And he caught me.
I've had that stuck in my head all morning, actually. Apparently they're gonna release it, so I'm so excited for that. Yeah.
Every time it like somebody's like stitched it or has duetted it or has covered it, I just stop listening to the whole thing again. And it just
I'm so glad you sent me that. Like honestly, it was so perfect for that moment.
Right? Isn't that and I've loved your heart?
I immediately followed them. I was like, yes, I need everything.
Cute. Her song was really good.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
And her little frog hat. I wish you guys. I got a big ass head, and I love hats. I think there's so many cute boat hats out there. But let's be real. I don't think a boat hat would work on this head. First of all, I don't think it would hold the head and the hair. But why would you make such a cute one with little froggy eyes on it? I'd like to have that.
Are you saying a boat hat?
Boat hat. Is that what it's called? What's it called?
Like a bucket hat?
Bucket hat. No,
yeah.
Boat hat.
I was like, what's a boat hat?
like I'm a captain of the sea.
I mean, I guess you wear those on boats, so I understand.
That's what I meant. I just remember those from like the 90s being like a little.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember getting one from like the Hard Rock Cafe, loving it, wearing it everywhere, as a kid.
Oh man.
Good times.
I just want to go shopping. I want to take a day off and go shopping.
Come here.
But I need to buy like actual clothes and not keep buying books. I'm really trying.
Are you sure?
It's getting slim pickings over here. I've got to do it.
I also need to. I hate clothes shopping. Hate it. And I
love it
too. I hate it.
You just gotta go.
I hate it. I hate trying on stuff. I hate it. It's not my favorite.
Go with me. It's my talent. The group of teenage girls were abducted by a pedophile. Ooh, do they kill him? If they kill him.
Yeah, if they kill him, that's pretty, cool. Yeah. Right?
I'll read it. Anytime comic books or graphic novels tend to over-sexualize characters is a big turnoff for me. The New 52 did that with Starfire, and the early start of the 2005-2011 run of Supergirl did too. Yeah, it depends on the circumstances for me. If it makes sense for the character, I'm okay. But there are some circumstances where I'm like, okay, if it's not like the same across the board, I want it to feel like if you're gonna do it to everybody. Unless like it makes sense for that. If that character's like if they're just like owning it and they're into themselves, go for it. But if it doesn't match them, and you're just giving me a shot of a butt for no reason.
Those butt shots.
Oh gosh, right? Yeah. I have seen some close-ups of some Marvel butts
for no reason at all. Yeah,
and do it across the board. Make Nightwing post that way too. Okay, if you can do it to one, do it to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. I'm saving it until it's all out. Or is it all out already? I'm trying to treat myself. So my goal is at the end of this month because I've basically been working 2 jobs kind of at my one job. I'm almost on the way out of that. So like my treat at the end is like some days off where I get to like catch up on some DC stuff like Poison Ivy, things I've really been wanting to read. So like a lot of the Wonder Woman stuff. And just like say the local comic book coffee shop combo and then just like relax. And I'm so close to freedom.
Yes.
I'll also be in DC for a week, so I might do some stuff there. So if anyone knows any good DC comic book stores. I know Third Eye is a big one people say, but I don't. Really enjoying Superman by Joshua Williamson and can't wait for his Green Arrow run. Is that dropped yet, the Green Arrow run? Because I need to go pick it up and cry about Harper. Miss him. I I got my book in for next week.
Nice.
I forgot what it's called. I have it.
Spellbound, I think.
Spellbound, yes. Yeah. And that's another graphic memoir, trans graphic memoir. Right?
That's all right.
Yay. I've been waiting to binge on that too. I hate reading a few issues and having to wait for more. Absolutely. It's hard for me to do that because I forget what's happened.
That's what I do.
My brain just doesn't work that way. So I've got to like read it. I like to read it all in one go if I can, unless it's something that I'm just like picking up the issues to support, like just to make sure I'm supporting it ongoing. Sometimes I'll read it. Like I think I unfortunately read Heroes in Crisis week to week, or week to week, release to release best because I needed to know what's going to happen. The Green Arrow drops the end this month. Oh, I'm so ready. Where do we get our comics from? If it's not local, my preference is used copies. Or but if I'm buying it, I'll go in stock trades unless I need something like if I'm worried I'm gonna get it right away, or if I'm pre-ordering something. Unfortunately I pre-order on Amazon because that's just the easiest for me to remember, and I don't have a good way to do that elsewhere.
Yeah, I go instocktrades.com if I'm getting a new copy. And I think both of us are not just saying that because the response are like, that's just genuinely true. That's absolutely my preference. But I also love, like, if I'm out of town, I'm going to Half Price Books. I'm going to Second and Charles. I'm going to try to find a used copy of something. So
yeah,
it's also my preference.
Thank you, Jay. Have you ready for Overeater? How about you and us up large for Poison Ivy Volume 1? The hardcover comes out in May. Listen, I might hit you up for June. We'll see what's happening then, because unless I have a theme. Because I'll need to plan that. I think May is like basically planned. Surprisingly. I mean, the guests are planned. I haven't planned the books. So
yeah. Well, that's good, though.
Yeah. I like to plan a good sci-fi book. Andrew's going to be on the show, and he wants to read something sci-fi. I'm trying to think of something that's not like what we've definitely done before, because I'm sure I've talked about Saga like 2 or 3 times. But I don't know what else I want to read. And if you look up good sci-fi graphic novels, they're always like, Warren Ellis. I'm like, no. No, thanks.
Not going to happen.
Will this channel ever review the Stephanie Brown Batgirl series from 2009? I mean, I'd be down. I've never read any Batgirl that's not Babs. Still. Which is...
I mean, I read the Gail Simone, which I loved.
Yeah.
But that's really it.
It'd be good to check out the other Batgirls. Now that Book Depository is closing, I'll have to use IST more. Yeah.
It's a big bummer. But IST's great.
That's true. Well, I reckon we can wrap up. I need to try to fit in some lunch before I have dance practice, and then 3 hours of photo shoots.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Go fuel yourself.
Thank you. I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
But this already helped a lot, just hanging out with you guys. So
I'm glad. I'm glad.
I think you guys are great. Alex, you know that's how I do it. By accident. Alex he's been there with me in many at con photo shoots. So
gotcha.
Kristan, if you feel like rereading Pluto at all, Alex is going to be on Over Your New Year next month.
Ooh.
Talking about Pluto. That's
exciting. Pluto is great.
I can send you the WordPress site that I used to read it because I don't have the books.
I have the books, so.
So if you feel like it.
Yeah. Let me know the day.
All right. All right, everybody have a good rest of your Sunday. Hope we get some relaxing before the work week starts. At least that's when it starts for me. We will see you next time with Spellbound. And that should be next Sunday, no problem.
Unless something happens, we'll let you know.
All right.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.